Yo, everybody, check out what this guy's talking about. So, he is ensuring the parents that he's actually going to do something about this school shooter problem.
To exhaust every resource we've got to ensure that our kids are safe, that when they go to school they can learn about education and academics, they can go to the playground and play and not worry about is some thug going to come out to the playground and open up on them with some type of an AR-15 shotgun, pistol, or whatever. So I want to read you a statement.
Yeah, I worry about that shit. Really, like, you never know where there is a psychopath. And I know this because I've worked with these people. And it's even scarier to me. And I have to sometimes remind myself, hey, these people are rare. These people are rare. I just see so many of them because of the field that I'm in. But I'll be honest with you guys, some of them are extremely, extremely scary. And it's not because they look scary. It's because of the exact opposite. It's because they don't look scary. It's because unless you're trained, you won't even know that you're talking to a few of them. And that's really the part that scares me, especially when you meet some sort of psychopathic, antisocial personality disorder person that needs care and supervision, and you look at the guy and he's like a full-blown Ted Bundy type deal. Nice, charismatic, smile, not a bad-looking guy, dressed head to toe in Gucci, the most expensive name brands, has a nice watch on his wrist, and come to find out, the guy's like some kind of crazy serial rapist, and he's a sociopath, and he does not care what kind of pain and agony he causes on anybody else, as long as he can somehow get his 2.5 seconds of enjoyment out of it. And these people exist, and the scary thing is you can't pick them out. I mean, I'm a trained professional when it comes to dealing with these people, and for some of them I have to actually have a conversation with these people for 10, 15 minutes before I can start seeing the red flags pop up. And these are the more obvious ones. There are some people that know they have an issue. They don't have any empathy. They don't have emotions like normal people do. So they start emulating them. This is what a lot of sociopaths do. They start emulating emotions because other people have them and they can see that, but they don't really feel those emotions themselves. So emotions are just a whole different thing for them. But the point is, it's not that easy to pick some of these people out, and does not surprise me that some of these people have a victim list. They've victimized people before, and I'm just talking about some of the people that I've seen working in the field that I work. And like I said, I got to try to remind myself, like, hey, these people are rare, but the truth is they're not that rare. There's a lot of people in this world. Anyway, here's what this guy plans to do about this.
On some of the stuff that we've done and are going to be doing over the next few months preparing for this coming school year. Our community has always stood together to ensure the safety of our children. I have a school resource officer who are certified deputy sheriffs in every school in our county.
Yep.
But we've sometimes seen that having just a deputy.
Just having that deputy, though, I'm okay. You know what? I was going to say something about Uvalde, but they didn't have their deputy there that day. That is kind of important to note, that when the school shooter showed up to Uvalde, the school officer was not there. Now, would that have made a difference? Would that one school officer have ran to where the school shooter was and actually confronted him and taken him out? Unlike the 500 police officers that were there. Thing is, in my opinion, like an actual school officer that's familiar with that school would have a better chance at dealing with a situation like that, because if you work at that school every day and if you hear something, you're like, oh, that's coming from the gymnasium, that's coming from here, you're going to just have a better lay of the land. And I would assume that that could possibly make you more efficient at, searching for the root of the problem in that school if a situation like that is happening, right? Unfortunately for Uvalde, that school officer wasn't there that day. So here's what this guy's going to do, though. Just a side note about the Uvalde thing, though, because we're going to talk about that.
The armed with a handgun isn't enough to stop these animals. That's why I've decided to arm all of my school resource officers with an AR-15 rifle, optics, and accessory.
He does kind of make somewhat of a point here. It's hard to stop somebody with an AR-15 when you have a pistol, but the thing is, a lot of these shootings have been in schools and in close quarters, in the proximity of a school or a small building. I mean, as long as you're not in the gymnasium, or on the football field, a pistol's going to be. It can get the job done, is what I'm saying. Now, granted, you're not going to be shooting as much power. You're not going to want to get shot back with an assault rifle. But if you're a police officer and that's your job, these things happen. It's a tragedy, right? But let's talk about like one of the last shootings that happened at the mall, where the kid brought some kind of rifle there. There was a guy with a pistol, and he took that kid out. So it is possible, because here's the thing. Here's what these people, like, are kind of forgetting. Like, okay, some school shooter kid brings an AR-15. He is still a fucking child. He's still a child. Okay? I have a 14-year-old son. I could give him an assault rifle right now. Does that mean he'd be able to take me out with it? No. No. Okay, so it's not like these kids are hardcore trained killers. It should be absolutely embarrassing to the Uvalde Police Department. I mean, they acted like there was a full trained Spec Ops soldier that ran into that school and he was holding that room hostage, and they were scared to go up there because they're up against Rambo, and outnumbering him 75-1 doesn't cut it, because they're so scared that he is just going to go ape shit and mow all of them down because he's more of a trained killer than them. That's not the fucking case here, folks. We're talking about some 15-year-old fucking kid that who knows how long he can even hold that gun up and aim it with his little 12-year-old looking arms. That is what most of these school shooters look like. Okay, they're going to be better at Call of Duty than they are at actually real life duty. That's just the fact of it. Now, does it level the playing field a little bit by giving one of these officers an assault rifle? Sure. Is it going to put kids in danger? No, I don't think it is. It's not going to put kids in any more danger than a deputy with a handgun at a school. And we have deputies at schools with handguns already. You know what? If putting an assault rifle in the hand of that deputy is going to make him feel like he has a better chance of taking the school shooter out, and that causes the deputy to actually engage the school shooter instead of standing around like a Uvalde cop and not doing shit and letting, a whole classroom full of kids get destroyed over the course of 72 minutes. You know what, damn it? All right, give them assault rifles. Give those people whatever the hell they need to actually react to a school shooter and to have the confidence to do it. Okay, is it asking much for a police officer to say, okay, I'll go do this. I will go put my life on the line and take on this chump with an assault rifle. Is it too much to ask for me to have a chance at surviving it by having my own assault rifle? I don't think that's too much to ask. I really don't. Now, I don't think that they should be giving any type of fully automatic rifles to uh, school police officers, because I just don't see how a fully automatic rifle would actually help you deal with a school shooter. If anything, you would end up spraying a whole room and killing a bunch of children on accident, or maybe shooting through the wall, depending on what part of the school you're at. So I'm kind of curious to see exactly what kind of assault rifles, AR-15s, Armalite rifles, that they're actually planning on giving these police officers. I will tell you this, though. That's kind of a deterrent, isn't it? Like, if you're some dumbass kid sitting around, planning on doing a school shooting, I'm sure not even those idiots want to go on a school shooting spree and not even get to kill anyone and just get taken out instantly. And that might just happen to you if you're dumb enough to try to do some shit like this to a school that has police officers in it that are armed with assault rifles, Armalite rifles, AR-15s themselves. I shouldn't even be using the term assault rifles. Yeah, sorry about that. Armalite rifles, whatever we want to call them. I do think it is a deterrent, because honestly, some of these school shooters are going to be like, you know what? I should go find a softer target so that I can at least carry out part of my goal before I get taken out. Because unfortunately, that's how these guys are thinking anyway. I don't think there's a school shooter out there, or one of these mass shooters, that actually thinks in their mind, I'm going to go do this mass shooting and then I'm somehow going to escape and get away with it. Like, they're not going to find me, or they're somehow not going to know that it was me. I don't really think that's the case. Even this last kid that escaped, he was planning on doing another school shooting. He wasn't planning on escaping and trying to actually run away from the law. The only reason he escaped is to try to rack up more infamy by going to another place and shooting that one up as well. It sounds to me like the kid was going to try to just shoot up as many places as he could in one day before he ultimately got headshotted himself. And a lot of these people commit suicide when they're done with this shit, right? But I still think it's a deterrent. I still think it's a deterrent. Also, if you have a school shooter now that can only get his hands on a pistol or a hunting rifle, well, if that school shooter knows that he's walking into a school where the actual police officers there are armed with Armalite rifles, AR-15s, with scopes and accessories, like I said, they might just go try to pick a softer target. And with any luck on our behalf, these school shooters will actually end up at the mall getting gunned down by a good Samaritan like Elijah Dickinson, or whatever that guy's name was, that dicked that guy down at the damn mall. That's all we can really hope for, folks, okay? Taking guns away is not the answer unless we can cure psychopathy, sociopathy, unless we can cure anti-personality disorder, unless we can actually cure part of the human element. We're always going to need a way to defend ourselves. That is what I've learned working with people that prey upon other people, unfortunately, and actually getting to see them up close, getting to see how they can victimize people, how easily they can manipulate people. I'm still sure to this day that the one individual that I was talking about earlier, I don't think he gives a shit about Gucci or Prada or any of that shit. I don't think he actually even enjoys wearing it. There's nothing about it that's really cool to him other than the fact that it has that name brand on it, and it will attract the victims that he wants. That is the reason why I see him spending all that money, and to make himself look like less of a predator. And that's the scary thing. There's people out there like that, like I said, and some of those people go the way of some sort of massacre. I can't explain it. I can't figure out for the life of me what would actually make somebody want to do that or to feel that way, but it's just a certain type of person, folks. There are people out there that if they get infected with AIDS and HIV, they go and try to give it to other people on purpose. Like this is a known thing. This is a known phenomenon. This happens. Some people are just like, shit, my life's over. I'm so miserable. Other people need to be miserable with me.